Hello everyone, this is James from Tin Robot Games, and this is the COVID-19 edition of Making a Game.
Resistance to fun is futile.
Now before I get started, I just want to reach out to all my family, my friends, anybody watching this video. I hope that everyone's staying safe, keeping your social distance, and doing your best, doing your part, quite frankly, to contribute to helping us through this crisis. I thought, hey, I know it's been a couple months since I've done an update. I was going to do the update on where we were with the box next on the Queen of Scots game. And what better time to do kind of a work in progress video than right now, because we're all isolated and we got nothing to do but watch videos and watch TV. Now, I was also thinking that if you've got an idea of your own for a game, why not start now? Now is the time. You got nothing but time, man. So take that idea, get your pen, get your piece of paper, sketch down some thoughts. You can make pieces literally out of anything. We've covered this in some of our past videos. And I'm excited to see what you're going to come up with yourself. So without further ado, let's talk about Queen of Scots game. If you turn to the table here below me, what you'll see is what we've got so far as our prototype. Now I'm working with two different Chinese companies on this prototype as we speak. This is one of them has sent this to me. This is what's called a telescoping box because it telescopes like this. And I just want to say that for those out there wondering, hey, you know, is with the situation, are we able to get anything out of China? Is China still making games? China is doing great. Workers are back to work. I've been in constant contact with the manufacturers there that make board games and other manufacturers. They're all hungry, excited to get back and help us get these games to market. So please, if you're working on a game yourself, don't look away from China, look to China, because this is an opportune time for us to really, as a globe, contribute to helping each other, keep things going, and keep workers back on the job. So with this game, if you look, we got the telescoping box. We're going to open it up here. You can see the lid. Now, one thing I will say about this lid is often when people produce a game, they don't really think about the inside of the box. They think more just about the outside of the box. But if you request and you design it this way, you could actually have the paper on the inside extend all the way down inside the lid. So you could have a nice kind of premium look with the print on the inside of the box. Likewise, if you look at the outside of the bottom of the box, if you're printing on the bottom here, then there's no reason why you can't print also on the sides. Because again, this is just one piece of paper that wraps up onto the sides. And I made this mistake when we did the Tanks But No Thanks game. Luckily, we caught it at the last second, but we didn't actually create any graphic on the side of the box. And I tell you, when you open up the box and you see a design kind of revealing itself, it just gives a nice, more premium look to the box. So I would recommend to do that, and we're going to do that with this particular game. But look on the inside, I've got an instruction sheet. Now right now, it's a 4-panel. It folds down into a nice little rectangle that fits in the box. I want to have the logo or Queen of Scots or something there facing you as soon as you open the box. But when I've tested this and I've put the instructions on the sheet as well as a story of some of the characters on the back, I found the font size is just a little too small. So we're going to extend this and make this about 6 panels out, which will give us a larger font size. And again, just make it a little bit nicer. You're talking a couple extra pennies to go that much more paper. Again, it'll still fold up into a nice rectangle. Then inside we've got a pad of paper. It's blank right now. We will pre-design the lines. It'll be one color so that people know where they can give them some guidance when they're writing their score in. Again, we did this size, which is a pretty standard size. Once this runs out, if somebody goes through all this paper, they can go to their local dollar store, grab another pad, put it in the box, and keep this going for many, many years. Likewise, the same thing with the pen. Now, one thing that this particular manufacturer did with their prototype is they thermal formed in around the pen itself. And that's great. It looks kind of slick and holds it in place, but once this pen runs out, you're going to want to put another pen in there, and it may not be the same shape as this pen. So what I've asked them to do is actually in the thermal form, when we do the final production, we're just going to make this a rectangle. So you can literally put any pen in there you want. So when this one runs out eventually someday, you can put another one in. Now we get to the cards, which of course I get excited about when I see the cards. And I know I promised in the last video, it wasn't really a promise, but I said I was going to wait till the final production before doing any more changes. I couldn't help myself, so I made the changes anyway. So here's a couple of them. One, if you look at them again on the table, what I've done is the key card. One thing I found when playing this game is just people trying to remember, okay, which cards are the royal family? And although we had the crown in the bottom right hand corner over the coin to indicate that, I thought these little key cards that you could have out during the game just laying on the table so people can see, okay, it's, you know, Queen Mary, Queen Elizabeth, King James, that's the set that goes together, a reminder to look for the crown. So that's why I did that with the key cards. Likewise, the change we made on the, let's see if we can find it here, change made on the Skye Terrier, and I believe his name was actually Geddon, and William Cecil. So in the last video, I showed you these cards side by each, and likewise, what you can see is before they both had red backgrounds. Now one's got more of a greeny brown background. The other one has a red background. So there's been no confusion between these cards playing ever since we made this change. Likewise, I made a change on the other one I indicated in our video, which was between Loch Leven Castle and David Rizzio. They both had green backgrounds. I like the color of the background of David Rizzio, so I didn't want to change that, but I did change the banner, so at least when they're side by each, there's enough of a difference so hopefully you won't get confused between these two cards. Again, in test playing we've been doing, we haven't seen any confusion with these cards since we've made the change, so glad I made that change. Another thing I really like that I'll make on the final this time, and for sure this time, the next print will be when we actually do a final run, is what you can see on the David Rizzio, how you've got this kind of white gradient here, which gives it kind of a premium look to that banner. I'm going to do the same thing across all the other cards. So if I look at where it was most obvious to me was Robert Dudley, when you see it kind of beside David Rizzio, this banner seems kind of plain. So what I'm going to do is actually add some white in behind that his name there to give the same kind of gradient effect. And we're going to do that across all the cards. It's going to make them, I think, look just that much more premium. So that's where we're at on Queen of Scots. So we've made a lot of progress. What I would say is that please stick with us, because May 11th is when we're going to kick off this on Kickstarter. And we're still moving full steam ahead. I've talked to the manufacturers. We're on track. Everything looks good. In fact, we're going to pre-make 500 copies of this game in time for May 11th. So once that Kickstarter closes, and that Kickstarter is only going to run for 2 weeks, we're going to start shipping them right away. So then those of you that are at home and are getting bored of maybe some of the games you have, you got another game that you can get at your doorstep that then you can play with your family. We picked the May 11th for a very, very special reason. And that's because this lady behind me in this picture, Nadine Chestnut, whose name is on this game, my grandmother who taught us this game, turns 102 on May 11th. So we thought, what a better day to kick off the Kickstarter than her birthday when she turns 102, as kind of a way to honor her and all the guidance she's given me over the years. It's been really, really special for us. So if you've enjoyed this video or any of the videos in this series, please do me a favor, subscribe down below. If you're already a subscriber, please like this video. It's very simple. Right below this video, there's a little thumb. Click the thumb button. That gives me a like and helps me with my traffic. Once again, this is James from Tin Robot Games.
Resistance to fun is futile.